Peace, what's good? I am not sponsored by Nintendo or Mario, but my son likes it, so what's good? Yo, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. I've been wanting to do a review and perspective of right wing pundits, talking heads, ideologues for quite a while. I guess I've been low key working through the list, but high key, I don't really find anything that they say interesting. I'm not going to say that I find it false. I'm not going to say that they're not telling the truth. I'm not saying that they're necessarily in bad faith. I'm going to say he reminds me of the kids I grew up with. I guess this is low key story time. So I am from Maplewood, New Jersey. I went to the same school as Zach Braff and Lauren Hill, some other people, I guess. I don't know. Met Tiki Barber there. It was pretty cool. I didn't know who he was. I didn't really like football. I still don't. Um, you have a lot. So I grew up in a town that really prided itself on diversity, you know? And what is diversity, inclusion, and equity is everyone being present within the same room. This reminds me of a wedding I went to. Everyone is present inside the same room, but everyone does not eat at the same time, and everyone does not receive the same quality of service. So, where I grew up, there was a leveling system, and a person like Charlie Kirk can argue that, oh, this is not racist because there's also white children inside of the lowest classes. And there are black kids inside of the highest classes. So obviously, these are the smartest black kids, and these are the dumbest white kids. Um, I was in those AP honors, level four classes, all that type of shit, college prep, whatnot. I'm a smart guy. I got to hang with a lot of those people. Um, I literally would not have been in certain AP classes if it wasn't like it was literally, you know how like you're like, hey, let's go get some pizza after school. It was like that. It was like that. Oh, let's go take the AP class after. Let's go take the AP test after school. Everyone else is doing it. Everyone else around me is doing it. Everyone else around me is honors in level four classes. We must be the smartest of the smart. And it's like what happens with that issue is that you're not. You were in the right place at the right time. You got the right number. You know, you happen to know the right answers to the right questions. Had they been different questions, you may not have done so well. Might have done better. I don't know. But even though I was not a really good student in science, at all, I was great. I'm great at chemistry. I'm a biology. I'm great at biochemistry. I'm good at biology. I can't do like taxonomy. Like that shit fucked me, man. AP taxonomy fucked me, bro. But aside from that, like I enjoy it. I love science. I believe in experimentation and the process of discerning and understanding answers. So this is what I do not like about Charlie Kirk and people like Charlie Kirk is that is it possible for someone to do good things and to still be evil? Is it possible for someone to do bad things and still be good? Does the presence of one erase the existence of another? I'm sorry, like everything is in a fucking knot right here. And it's like bothering me. So I want to like move the shit, but like, okay, we're good now. Or do they cancel each other out? If you have enough good Does it cancel out all the bad that it? Because it's like that's what these people seem to think. Like they think with this very utilitarian John Stuart Mill type of mindset and perspective, but you have to also remember that just because you want to believe in utilitarianism doesn't make it correct. Just because you want to believe in a categorical imperative like Immanuel Kant does not make it correct. You are grasping at a perspective, and I would even argue to say, like many of these people that I've grown up with, it's not as if they're necessarily coming from bad faith or a bad place. It's worse than that. They're coming at it from such a profound stance of total, complete fucking ignorance and incompetence that they don't know how little they know. And when you are bred and nurtured to feel like you're the best, to feel like you're superior, and you know that you're not, you get a Charlie Kirk. You get, if I called him racist, he might be offended. You know, that's the issue. He doesn't know what racism is. He doesn't know what CRT is. He doesn't know shit. He knows what he knows, and he doesn't want to know anything else. He doesn't want to see any other perspective. He doesn't want to be wrong. He doesn't want to feel bad. He wants what all these white people want is to have this very comfortable, nice, cushy life without acknowledging, one, how they got to this point, and A, what they do currently to get to this point. We're stuck in this kind of position in which white people don't know what racism is. Anything, and I say this because anything that you do that talks about color, they think is racist, and that's not racism. I think I've said it a bunch of times. I think other people have said it a bunch of times. Racism is a systemic institution of oppression. You know, you are a racist when you are a benefactor from that institution. White supremacists are people that narcissistically believe or sociopathically believe that white people are the most superior, the best of the best, the creme de la creme, no matter what the fuck is going on in Alabama or in the Appalachian Mountains. So they have come to the table already with so many preconceived notions that you have to imagine that many of these racist ass white people for the past century at least, because they always want to take it back to slavery, but the critical factors of what has happened after slavery. Some of the most barbaric crimes against humanity happened during slavery, of course, but after the slaves were freed is when you need to start looking at the policies, looking at the institutions, looking at the practices. And I would give it what I feel like Charlie Kirk's point is I'm going to probably have to do more videos on this. What I feel like Charlie Kirk's point and perspective is, and I'm not going to defend him. I don't know this man. I never spoke to him before. I guess I might like to talk to him. You know, that'd be cool. But is that we should be grateful for the progress that we are making, because if we're not, white people are no longer going to be in a position of power. And white people will no longer be in a position of power, not because they weren't willing to change, not because they weren't willing to make improvements to the society, or not say the progress wasn't made already. And there are certain white people, and certain niggas, that's what he would love to say, who are preventing that progress. There are extremists on both sides who are preventing, constructive dialogue, constructive debate, and making progress within that regard. There are a lot of white people that have black friends. There are a lot of black people that would rather be around white people, or rather be around black people that don't necessarily have an issue with white. They just don't want to be around white people. But just like there is, let's do this, because I love doing this for people. Me, I'm 30. My father or my mother. My mother's side's a lot easier. My dad's side is actually from Barbados and the West Indies. So, dad, grandpa. I mean, I guess that works too. That works too, honestly. Dad, grandpa. I think my grandpa was first generation. Uh, Great grandma, my dad's grandma. Then your islands over here. One more generation islands, one more generation British colonialism, one more generation British colonialism. I don't know the history of Barbados all that well, honestly. But with that, on my dad's side, it's like, because my dad is a very radical, very pro-black, loves black people, can admit the flaws in black America as well. Don't get me wrong, because there are a lot of issues and a lot of flaws, but they are none of white people's business. And quite honestly, it's kind of like if you were getting ready in the morning, you butt naked, soaking wet, do you want your enemy watching you, helping you pick out what to wear that day? You don't think that might work against you a little bit? A lot of it's like a lot of black people have been conditioned and trained to seek white people out, to think that white people are better than them, to think white people have all the answers. And in my experience in my life, nowadays, many white people are like, no, no, me? No, 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 not I. I don't know shit. That's what a lot of white people I know nowadays are. They're very humble nowadays. Scared might be a good word as well. Because I think that's how Charlie Kirk comes across to me as scared. He seems like he's trying to be confident, but you wouldn't need to have someone like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. You wouldn't need to have any of these people saying this stuff. Get this. If you weren't doing this shit. My mom said something tonight that was very important. If you didn't do anything wrong, you don't need to be scared. But I said something that I felt was also very wise. But if you did do something wrong, you're already scared. They know they did something wrong. He's admitting that racism is wrong. He is trying his best to save white people, to aggrandize people to the white side, to have this "what are we doing to white people" perspective that white people did not have towards black people. I guess we had abolitionists, we had John Brown, and then what? You don't have a lot of white people standing up to defend anti-racism. All you really have is white guys like Charlie Kirk, guys like I grew up with, that are like, oh, well, racism's over. Racism's over. Continues to do everything that defines and codifies racism. Racism's over. It's like, I told my partner this today, like, girl, you can't be your own critic. You're not qualified to critique yourself. You're not qualified to judge your own actions. Maybe with time, maybe in a few years or so, maybe once you learn and you heal and you've grown from the situation, then you can say, you know, I could have done this differently or I handled it pretty well. You can't, you're not your own judge. I'm not mine. I try to be, but I'm not. I'm just not. With these guys like Charlie Kirk, they have not healed. They have all these material things. Like, they don't know the truth. They don't want the truth. They just don't want to feel guilty. It reminds me of my niece and my nephew. Primarily my niece, because she's young. She's very young. So it's like if you get loud with her, she's going to get, oh my God. You got to be very gentle with her. You have to be that's why I'm taking this tone and approach in this video. You got to be very gentle with little girls like that because they can't handle the truth. Not your version of the truth where you just want to rail into them and scream at them and yell at them and unleash it and spank them and beat them. It's like, look at Charlie. Like, are you really, like, he's not a worthy opponent. He's just not. That's why he talks. Just like, look at Ben Shapiro. He's not a worthy opponent. That's why they believe in guns. They're weak. They're cowards. That's why they do the shit that they do. That's why they manipulate shit. That's why there's always a proxy country and a proxy war, a hitman, or an assassin. That's why it's always some fag shit with these because they're cowards. They're fucking pussy-ass niggas, man. And now, instead of healing, instead of coming to the truth, instead of educating himself, instead of really taking a look into the Black experience for the spectrum of Black people, the myriad of different Black, brown people that live here. Because we're not talking about Asians. We're not talking about Arabs. We're not talking about Indians. We're talking about Black people. We're talking about former slaves of the current country. So let's play this game once again. Me, my mom, she got 2 master's degrees. My granddad, a sharecropper that had to buy him and his family a way up north. My grandfather, a slave. My great-grandfather, a slave. My great-great-grandfather, a slave. My great-great-great-grandfather. Do you see the difference? When you're an immigrant versus being... It's just so sickening and so disgusting. The lack of empathy and the lack of intelligence of these people because they benefit from racism. They benefit from white supremacy. Because the only reason why people hate Black people is because we're the only people to stand up to racism. We're the only people to put our foot down and say, no, we're not going to take this shit from you. This is wrong. This is inhumane. For all of you, this is normal. For every single one of you godless heathens and pagans, this is normal for you. So you get to play at religion, you get to pretend this, you get to call yourself Christian, but you aren't the actual bloodline. You don't actually have it within your soul and within your God-given purpose to fulfill the commandments, to fulfill the promise, and to fulfill the covenant. That's not your duty, but you're preventing us from doing it. I don't think that Charlie Kirk, if he was a blue-collar or even a white-collar guy, would be a problem. I think if more white people believed and actually felt like how Charlie Kirk pretends to be and how Charlie Kirk pretends the world is, you probably could make a lot of progress. You probably could unify the United States. We could probably get somewhere if he had a willingness to learn. but he does not. What Charlie Kirk has is propaganda, is rhetoric, is indoctrination, is an agenda. He's putting this in small size, bite sized pieces so that the racist white supremacist can repeat what he says. He's putting this out there in a way that is supposed to appeal to your logic and appeal to, because you're watching him in alpha state. You have to remember that. You're watching him in a state in which you're basically asleep. You can't really propose an argument or a defense when you're watching the television. When you're having a conversation with someone, you might be in gamma state or theta state. You might be able to say some shit. You might even be in delta state. You might change your fucking life. But a lot of people go omega or they go sigma. They start arguing and saying obscene shit, or they just go into solitude and they sunk into themselves and they don't really want to engage anymore. They don't care about the system. When you're watching a lot of these people, because it's the same thing when you're listening to liberals as well, you know, I feel like Charlie Kirk reminds me of guys that were in my fraternity. He reminds me of guys that I worked with. He reminds me of people that I've drunk with, smoked with, you know. But I would still say that those people were still racist because there was still an incentive and a limit to what they were willing to do to protect and project the will of the white race upon everything. I remember going to see the movie American Sniper, and if it isn't enough that they made a movie about killing brown people, you know, me saying that, I wish that they had like this kind of side story. Like he has like this rivalry with whatnot with the other sniper, and I just wish there was more insight and mindset into what the other sniper was doing to prepare for this, what his perspective of the Americans and Chris Kyle was. You know, I just more to the story than just this one-sided propaganda affair. And they got so angry and so mad and so just, and it didn't go too far because they didn't want to say anything racist. We were all friends, and I'm not Arab, so it wouldn't have made sense anyway. But still, like, it was just such an awkward thing after that because it's like they don't know how they come across. They don't have the self-awareness to really understand how race was racist white supremacy, how colonialism, how Jim Crow enslavement, how standing against civil rights, standing against human rights, standing against gay rights, standing against like anything positive in the world, these people are always against. These people always have an excuse to be against somebody else being treated decently. They have every excuse to not be equal and equitable with other people. Why is that? Because they do view themselves as superior. Notice he did not talk about white supremacy. He talked about racism because they're shedding the skin of racism, you know, for white supremacy to be more inclusive. So you can be a black white supremacist. You can be a brown white supremacist. You can be an Asian white supremacist. And there's a lot of them. So that is so they can maintain their power. They've opened up this realm of white supremacy. So no, it's not about white people having an advantage. Look at all these poor white people over here that we don't give a fuck about. It's that two-parent households have an advantage. Two-parent households that can be abusive. Two-parent households that can be two motherfuckers that hate each other, arguing all the fucking time. Two-parent households that can be two people that work all the fucking time and never see their fucking kids. No, man. Stop. We don't talk about older kid privilege. Older kids that are usually the fucking test subject for parents. You know, getting the shit beat out of them first, having to make all the parents make their mistakes with the first kid. And then they figure the shit out later. No. You're deluded. You are a crazy person, Charlie Kirk. And it's like you don't even realize the insanity of what, because you're paid so much. And you're paid so much that even if it goes against your consciousness, all you really are, Charlie Kirk, is a pig and animal farm. And you're just a pig and animal farm, changing the board, rewriting shit, while you do all the things that you say other people can't do. If I got paid the money Charlie Kirk got paid, oh my God, the shit I would say, the shit I would do. I don't fucking know. It's limitless. So $1 million. Talk about how you hate niggas, but don't let them know it's about black people. What? I'm just saying, like, go up there on stage. Yeah, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Just talk about how you hate black people, but don't let them know it's about black people. I don't hate black people. I mean, I don't hate black people either. No, seriously. Get your ass up there. 45 minutes. Talk about how you hate these niggas, but don't let them know it's about black people. Don't make me tell you again. Don't make me fucking tell you again, motherfuckers. You're done. We got 10 other motherfuckers waiting to do this shit. We just got rid of fucking Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro's up fucking next. If you don't fucking do this shit, man, you know what the fuck happens to you. Do it, nigga. And then Charlie Kirk goes on stage and he does his job. And then Candace Owens goes on stage and she does her job. And then Ben Shapiro goes up there and does it. Anderson Cooper, when you see the newscasters go up there, then they go up there and they do their job. Talk about how much you hate black people, but don't mention black people. Talk about how much you hate niggas, but don't mention niggas. Talk about how much you hate brown people, but don't let them know it's about brown people. Talk about how much you hate these Asian motherfuckers and how scared you are of Asians, but don't let you know it's about. That's how racism works. You're looking for overt, blatant racism. They did not maintain slaves through blatant racism. They maintained slaves through coercion, trickery, deceit, subversion, neurolinguistics, appearing to be your friend and having conversations about how much they hate you behind your back. So the same fake-ass way that all Americans act, fake-ass friends, they call them frenemies, fucking this hyper-competitive mentality, even with people that are smiling in your fucking face, but they keep insulting you, normalizing people abusing you, mistreating you, taking advantage of you, normalizing suffering, normalizing sacrifice. You can't see racism, Charlie Kirk, and that's a beautiful thing. But you can't see it because I believe that you are aware of how much white people oppress white people. So I feel like the real meaning, because that's also the part that they can't say, is that you can't say anything bad about white people. And if you want to know who's in control, who can't you talk about? White people oppressing white people is a bigger issue, Charlie Kirk. White people oppressing other white people is the only history that exists here. White people oppressing other white people is the foundation of your culture. It's the foundation of your mindset. It's the foundation of your country. It's the foundation of your continent, where you come from. It's the foundation of your entire existence. Is white people killing, raping, murdering, and oppressing other white people. So when you discuss racism, I think it would be more helpful for you, Charlie Kirk, to understand racism, classism, sexism, ageism, and capitalism are tools. It's not that you wake up in the morning, you sip your coffee, and man, I hate niggas. It's not like that. drink your coffee, you read the morning paper, you go, wow, there's a lot more of those folks coming over here. And then that fear that sets in for you, that's racism. You wouldn't have to do this if you didn't know it was bullshit. You wouldn't have to do this if you didn't believe in racism. You wouldn't have to do this if you didn't know that what your people have done is heinous crimes against humanity that you're going to be heinously punished for. What you don't want, and what I don't want, Charlie Kirk, is that I don't want the good white people being hurt for the sake of these racist white people. As much as I don't want the majority of beautiful, amazing, brown, black people being hurt over the case of a very few criminals, outright fucking sociopathic, murderous, fucking psychopathic criminals. But to conflate all black people with being criminals for centuries, you could try to spin it all you want, baby boy. I grew up with your kind. I know what y'all like. I know what you people are like. And you're not fooling anybody. All you are doing is basically like you're AA for racist white supremacists. You're like AA for ex-Republicans, for ex-MAGA people. People who are still like super batshit fucking crazy, racist, ignorant, have no idea what the fuck actually happened in history. You're white and you don't want to be. You're white and you're realizing it is not as big of a flex as you thought. It was not the flex that your grandfathers made it out to be. When your grandfathers were fueled up on other guys having bigger dicks than them and everybody else needs to die because their dicks are bigger than ours, y'all were on some shit for real. Y'all were on some hatred. And now that y'all have come into this little dick, tiny dick incel acceptance, now it's about controlling other people's sex lives. Now it's about you can't abort the baby because there's not enough of us. Now you're trying to do everything to preserve and protect the existence of white people because you realize you're gone. You're done. Bro, you're fucked. Bro, you're fucked. Like, I just broke this shit down in like 33 minutes. Only 10 people, but there's other people that just like, you're fucked, bro. Like, you're wrong. You're fundamentally wrong. All of you, the entire right-wing movement is fundamentally wrong. And it's like, if you just stuck to finance or literacy, you'd be up there. I could totally swear. If Republicans literally just focused on financial literacy, I would become a Republican. We could do it together. We could fix the Republican Party. We can get rid of Donald Trump, and I'll run as a Republican in 2030, 2029, whatever. I'll be the youngest black Republican president that ever existed. But we're not at that point. We're not at that point. What we are at the point as is people that for the past 5 decades have done everything humanly possible to be on the wrong side of history, who have now reached the conclusion that, oh, this may not work out for us. Israel fought Palestine. They're still fighting Palestine? They didn't win yet? Ukraine is still fighting. This is costing a lot of money. This is causing a lot of we may not get out of this. Black people are like, why would I do anything for you when you've done nothing for me? They're like, black people. What do you mean we've done nothing for you, black people? We did 9/11. We did Barack Obama twice. We did. What have we done for black people? What I want to know is what day in history did white people stop being racist? What was the moment? What did white people? Did you guys start doing yoga? You started doing yoga and you felt like you weren't racist anymore because you did yoga? Was it sucking? Y'all sucked some black dick and now y'all felt like me and my husband sucked some black dick. We're not racist. We love sucking black dick. My husband loves it. Y'all some freaky ass motherfuckers, man. Like, y'all will do anything. Y'all will do anything to prove that you're not racist, then dismantle the system of neocolonialism and fucking racist white supremacy. You will do anything possible to separate yourself from racism other than abolish the system of racism. Y'all are fucked. Y'all are evil as shit, man. People like Charlie Kirk are so fucking evil. They are so fucked up to their core because what he's saying is not that I don't believe that anything, I'm not saying that I don't believe anything happened to black people. You know, what I'm saying is that I don't give a fuck about these black motherfuckers and their fucking life should not fucking affect me. I didn't do shit. All I do is benefit from the shit. You guys should focus on the fuckers that are fucking me over too. Do you want to work together to do that, Charlie Kirk? No, because then I wouldn't get paid. So why are you saying that racism doesn't exist? Because I get paid to say racism doesn't exist. And this is how you get Charlie Kirk. This is how you get Candace Owens. It's not that they're fueled by the truth. It's that they get paid to say that racism doesn't exist. They get paid, basically, all these celebrities to make excuses and spread excuses as to why they don't have to pay reparations because they're already 23 trillion plus dollars in debt. And the approximate cost of reparations would probably be trillions and trillions of dollars. So not only basically the issue is this. They don't have the money to pay reparations. They spent it all. They mismanaged everything. They mismanaged the budget. They mismanaged the economy. They mismanaged the globe by proxy because the USD is the reserve currency for the entire planet. So you can't be a racist white supremacist because you literally are the reserve currency for every single race of people on Earth. And you also can't be a racist white supremacist because other groups of people on Earth think that you're cavemen and they do not respect you at all. And they don't like you, nor do they trust you. So you're fucked. And all you have now is your last ditch attempt at racism to make other groups of people hate black people so that you don't have to be on the bottom of the totem pole, which is literally what you already did, and it did not work. It doesn't work because you're not likable. It doesn't work because you lie to people. It doesn't work because you like people like Donald Trump, and not only do you like them, you want to make them your weird bastardized God King. There's something wrong with you, Charlie Kirk. There's something wrong with all right-wing Republicans right now. Because you don't want to live in reality. You don't want to live in the truth. You want to insult people, make ad hominem attacks, live through fallacies, deny, and then pay people to deny for you. But it's like you would probably save a lot more time and energy had you just apologized, had you just told the truth, and just made it right. There's nothing wrong with you feeling guilty about completely destroying the lives of billions of people forever and their children irreversibly for generations. You're going to get punished the more you try to deny the existence of racism. The more you try to deny the existence of what your people did, you try to cover it up and you try to live in ignorance of it, you are going to regret it. All you white people can do is apologize and humble yourselves. That's it. But I bet you won't do it. I bet you will go so far as trying to force Donald Trump into office. I bet you would go even further as to try to assassinate Donald Trump. And Donald Trump isn't even like a relevant human being. Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Because you rather have symbolism than real structural change. Because you don't benefit from structural change. You don't benefit from equality. You don't benefit from equity. You don't benefit from diversity. You don't benefit from inclusion. You benefit from controlling the means of production. You benefit by controlling the means of accreditation, and you control the means of patent. You block out and gatekeep. Your time is done. You're the middleman in this drug deal, baby, and I've made friends with the plug. We've been hanging out and playing 2K together. I don't need the middleman anymore. I'm already talking to the plug. Peace out, white people. Good luck to you.